Welcome back to the Shiba Inu community. Appreciate all the love on my recent update. The feedback was amazing. Again, continue supporting, and I will try my best to bring out these daily updates for you guys. So, as we are starting off the new week, we're going to analyze Shiba Inu's price action, really understanding, what is happening today and, how is it holding up in comparison to, the big move that we did see about 24 hours back. Now, I'm sorry, 48 hours back. Now, if you're looking across the board today as we are starting a new week, you're seeing a few handful coins that are still up, but you're starting to see a lot of coins making its way back towards the downside. And again, this is why, we don't really take the weekend price action too much into consideration because of the fact that CME futures are closed. But you guys can see, the start of the week has started off on a little bit of a negative note, specifically as BTC has retraced. But again, it is still early. We'll see how things progress, throughout the day. Now, if you're looking at Shiba Inu, it is down about 3.1% on the daily time frame, but again, a continuous reminder has had quite a nice, bounce over the course of the last, 48 hours. So we're going to take a closer look and see what's really going on. But before we do that, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So 49.17 is the price, still five zeros in front of the price right now, down about 2.6% on the BTC side, down 4.6% on the Ethereum side. Ethereum holding up quite well right now, and that is obviously the reason why we're down quite a bit on that side. Valuation 2.9 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume is down quite substantially in comparison to what we saw back on Saturday, currently sitting at about $244.1 million. Now, if you're looking at the overall meme coin markets, you guys can see for yourself, there's still a lot of green across the board on the 24-hour scale. But now, if you're looking at the big boys, which of course are the top five projects, we are pretty much only seeing Pump Fun that's holding up double digits in the last 24 hours. But other than that, the other top four Dogecoin, Shib, Pepe, along with Meme Core, are all down on the 24-hour scale. So again, that kind of goes unsaid when you take a look at what has happened with BTC. That obviously does have an impact. But if you're looking at the BTC dominance here, it's continuing to pull down, which again is also a reason why you're still seeing some few coins that are still holding up. But again, BTC is something we want to be paying very close attention to. So again, we did see this wick towards 67,700 dollars, again a rejection. And as we are starting off this week, it started off on us retesting 64.5 once again. But this uptrend is still intact for BTC right now. Even though the uptrend is intact, as you guys already know if you are a viewer on the channel, I'm not too optimistic just yet for the broader market. And again, if we hear more hiccups in regards to the Clarity Act, I think this uptrend could be invalidated. Now, if you're looking at Sheep's price, it's at 493. So where does that put it right now? So again, there is not much support. We're back down to levels we haven't seen for quite some time. So pretty much since the wick at 584 that we saw for ourselves, the price has retraced since then about 15.38%. But still, what a lot of people will ignore is the fact that if you look at it from July 24th low at 410, it's still up right now about 21%. So regardless, anyone that was accumulating within this range is still up about 21% over the course of the last few days alone, which itself is quite a nice bounce. Again, you need to understand the fact that the market is still quite uncertain. You're still going to see profit taking happening. You're still going to see people, understanding the fact that the market is not, back to where it needs to be. And there's no secret about that. It all depends on BTC. And again, if you look at the market sentiment itself, yes, it has been progressing, but we need to also understand the fact that we've been extremely oversold. We're at no levels where we need to be. So again, it's already been extremely oversold. So even if we do see a bounce here and there, it doesn't mean that market is getting excited. But yes, memes have started to wake up a little bit. Usually we do tend to see that shift taking place when the market starts to get excitement. That's what we saw last bear market, and you saw memes taking off first, then shortly after that utility started. We did start to see, memes picking up over the course of the last few, weeks. But with that being said, it's still quite early as of yet, because like I said, Clarity Act is such a big moment for crypto. If we hear hiccups regarding that, that's going to impact BTC, and when Bitcoin is impacted, memes are going to be affected. There's no exception. So now if you're looking at the price, we're sitting at about 494, but it needs to respect this pump. It's very, very important. And what I mean by that is when a project pumps up like this, it needs to find a ground for itself and hold at those levels. So what we would really like to see is the price maybe, pushing up to this 500 zone and just start to like accumulate a little bit, which again, will kind of strengthen the support and, obviously pretty much respect the pump that it has seen, and then we can start targeting some of the higher price action, of course, that we want to see. Obviously, as you guys know, the 714 is such an important level for Shib, but I'm not even focusing on that as of now. We need to focus on some of the other hurdles that we need to cross before we can get above that range, which again I've already highlighted to you guys before. We have not been above here since the beginning of the year. So again, as soon as we broke below it, the price was unable to get back above that range, because again, we just did not see enough volume. Speaking about volume, the one that we did see the spike on the 24th, that's the highest volume we have seen in a long, long time. So again, as of now, I do believe that BTC is playing a little bit of a role in the retracement that we're seeing here, but we need to see nice consolidation. If we don't see that, it will round trip. What I mean by it is it'll get back down to levels, pretty much where it was a few days ago if it doesn't respect this move. So what you want to see is, Sheep holding around these levels. That will be a good sign. If it doesn't, then I think we could come back down to these key levels much quicker than a lot of people realize. Again, these are memes. You need to understand that. There's no utility behind them, and if utility projects behave like this, imagine how memes will. So again, we need to understand the fact that everything is dependent on the overall market structure. And with memes, people are going to lock in profits when they see them, especially in a bear market. Obviously, if you have a long-term horizon, patience is your number one key to follow. But again, make sure your portfolios are diversified. If you're just holding one single asset, you're making a huge mistake. That's you're making a massive, massive mistake. Make sure you have a diversified portfolio, well balanced portfolio, because again, not only does that minimize your risk, but also maximizes your gain potential, because there's certain times where you see certain projects moving and the others don't. So again, that's where you maximize your profit, especially when markets start heating up. So again, so far so good. Again, when you look at it from where we were a few days ago, it's still looking good, and obviously the retracement that we're seeing, again in correlation to BTC as well. But I'll keep you guys covered. Make sure your bell icon is on so you're notified every time we upload. With that said, we'll see you later in Crypto ZX. Peace out.